Are you familiar with the five temperaments?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe I've heard of it here or there, but I can't think of it.
So, based on what you said, I feel like you might be a melancholy temperament. Melancholies tend to overthink things,
Hopefully, that's a
right?
good thing.
No, they're
That
all
means you're
good.
a genius and you're hilarious. Just kidding.
You low key, you are high key actually. Melancholies happen to look at the world in a different way than other people do. They reflect on questions differently than other people do, and because they reflect on these questions differently, they're always thinking, right? They tend to be perfectionists, right? There's no right or wrong temperament. They all have strengths and weaknesses, but a melancholy is just really self-awareness. I think is the key for everybody to really have grace and kindness with themselves. What I will say in terms of the overthinking, and this might be a nugget for your audience as well. What are thoughts? Your thoughts are nothing more than the pictures and sounds that you're making in your mind, right? Either consciously or unconsciously. So once you understand that and understand that all the results that you want come from a thought, then you can start shifting those thoughts through very specific modalities. But if you want a result, let's say that your result is you want to, you whatever it is, you want to have a multi-million business or you want to have a successful audience or something like that. That's the result that you want. What leads to the result is above that is your action and activity. Now, people understand this. Like, okay, yeah, clear, sure, I can take action, and I know this, Aaron. That's simple, right? And also, sidebar: the most simple things in the world are the most profound things, right? And when you explain things simply, it's easier for people to take action. So stick with me here. So activity is different than action because activity is done consistently over time until you surpass your goal. I can't go to the gym once and say I have abs now. I have to consistently go and feel the burn, and then I have that. Now, what's above activity and action is like, yes, Aaron, I know I have to take action, but today I feel freaking lazy. What am I
Yeah,
going to do? I don't want to do it. Or life gets lifey. Something happens, and oh man, I don't want to take the action. So, above activity and action is emotion. So, how are you feeling? What emotion is your? I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like having this conversation right now. Those are all feelings that tend lead to the activity that you take or don't take. Then what leads to emotion? Your thoughts. Your thoughts. So the way you think determines the way you feel, which determines the activity that you take, which determines the result that you get. Now here's where people usually leave you because it's like, okay, well, that's my thought. Okay, yeah, I get that. But what are thoughts? It goes back to what I said in the beginning. See/say. Everything that you're seeing or saying in your mind internally, externally, unconsciously or consciously, and that's it. And also for you particularly, because I know how hard you work, I know how hard you grind. I heard an example once of we've been talking about football, so let's use this as an example. Let's say that we're on a football team, Tim. We're on the Patriots, even though they give me the ick because I'm a Jets fan, but I know you're a Patriots fan, right? So we're on the Patriots. It's the first day training camp, and Bill Belichick comes out, and out with him, he pulls out a bag, and in that bag is the Lombardi Trophy. He says, "Congrats, gentlemen, we won the Super Bowl." I don't think any of us would even appreciate that. We wouldn't appreciate that at all because we didn't earn it. We didn't have to fight for it. That's part of the joy of the lifting that Lombardi trophy. So I think sometimes, particularly in this world where there's so much comparison, so much that person has this or like I'm not where I think I should be, there's kind of this idea that, you know, I, I should have it now. When you don't know if you had it now, you would even appreciate it. Or you'd be mature enough to maintain it or sustain it. So I
yeah,
use that I think, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I think there's a few things kind of alluding to, like, do you get the same satisfaction of taking a helicopter to the top of Mount Everest versus climbing it? It's like about the journey, not like actually being there. I mean, with
Exactly.
social media, maybe some people would like to just be at the top, take a picture, and be like, "Oh yeah, I did this," and like fake it. But yeah, I agree. There's satisfaction. There's your own satisfaction of like knowing you grinded it out. You learned a lot of lessons along the way. I think that the story you can develop can potentially inspire other people. If you're like, I tried something once and now I'm the best in the world, like, okay, good for
Yeah,
you.
people can't
But
relate to that. Exactly. It's like great, Superman. Superman's the most corny superhero. I'm sorry, any Superman fans, but like he's strong, sure, he could do this, he can do this and fly as fast as a speeding bullet or whatever it is. But Batman is so much more dope because he's a human.
He's got to overcome challenges.
Yeah, he be getting messed up, bro. He got to find his way. Kicked off a building. Yeah. Anyway, we digress. This is just us talking right now. But
Yeah, exactly. No, I definitely agree with you on that. And yeah, my general personality, like you kind of described, is probably more of a perfectionist, someone who's hesitant to try new things. I think being an entrepreneur for more than 10 years and trying and failing at almost everything. I mean, I've had some minor successes along the way, and I'm working on something now that's headed in the right direction, but a lot of failures, and it just teaches you to run small experiments, try it. If it fails, no big deal. If it succeeds, you keep running with it and replicate that, and it can become big, and you can be make a major impact in the world or potentially make a lot of money and things like that. So I think I've taken my personality in a sense where like I don't want like a huge failure. I don't want to borrow $5 million and go into debt and then be like screwed. But I've been like, how can I run small experiments that are low risk? Because that's kind of my personality. But how can you achieve something big in life or accomplish all your goals without taking a risk? Well, you take calculated risks with high
yeah,
upside and low downside. So, like an audition to become an actor or something, you're probably going to fail. But the worst case scenario is it takes a couple hours of your time, or maybe you flew somewhere and it's a few $100 or something like that. But it's not going to be like millions of dollars and like you're screwed for decades or something like that. So, that's kind of how I've got around it, and I've noticed there's a lot of people who are similar to that. Like billionaires say, I'm completely risk averse, and you're like, what the hell? How is that possible? But like they just ran because when they failed, they didn't fail completely. Therefore, they were able to try like hundreds of things until they found something that like kind of fit perfectly into what society wanted at the time, and then they replicated that and sold that to everyone, and now they're like a multi-billionaire. So it's interesting how some of the most successful people are also some of the most risk averse, which is kind of counterintuitive, potentially very counterintuitive, because I think most people would say the opposite of that. Like entrepreneurs who are billionaires must be willing to take on massive risk. And of course, like the famous ones like Elon Musk puts up all of his money, risks everything, sleeps on people's couches to make like SpaceX and Tesla work. And yeah, that's a good story, but like realistically, most people who did that like completely failed and you never heard from them again. So it's like people who can kind of consistently replicate the success and take the calculated risks in any field. Doesn't have to be like business entrepreneurship, could be acting, could be like many different things that you can apply to. It could even be gardening, like, oh, I'm going to try to grow like 20 different like vegetables until I find a few that grow well in the soil in my backyard. And now I have delicious food that I can eat, every single season for like decades to come, type of thing. So I think it can be applied to your career or hobbies or basically anything. But
yeah.
yeah, definitely like that. But, well, it was great talking with you, Aaron. Have a fantastic night, and hopefully we'll connect again soon.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. See you later. Bye.
Later.